We are roughly 30 days until the February 2025 exam. I know some of you are taking the July exam, and this is valuable for you as well. Let me start by explaining what we've been doing behind the scenes at Celebration Bar Review for about 6 to 9 months. With artificial intelligence, we've been exploring ways AI could be incorporated into bar review study. And I'm particularly interested in innovations that help people study faster, more efficiently, and more effectively. I have been working with different AI tools and products to get a good blend and a useful blend for you products and services. I think we've got packages, which I'm going to we're calling this the AI Accelerator for bar exam. It's three different programs put together in a way that allows you maximum flexibility, but also the ability to use these tools, I think, for most effective bar study. Now, the reason we wanted to use AI is not just for the novelty of it. It's because AI has the ability to take extraordinary amounts of material and sources and cut through it and see trends and patterns that we could never see. Some of you are familiar with a bar review company that claims to have an algorithm for the MBE. It's long been my contention that there is no algorithm, and the National Conference of Bar Examiners say there is no algorithm, but it's good marketing. But there's no point in telling you there's an algorithm when there isn't. The real point is you want to know how you're doing, what your strengths and weaknesses are. Even that, up until now, was limited just to multiple choice questions. There was no way to do that with a performance test or with essays. So we've been working and experimenting to bring that same level of AI insight, not just into multiple choice, but into essays and performance tests. We've been doing that with a select group of Celebration Bar Review students for the past few months to see how well it worked and what the reaction was. And I'll tell you that the reaction has been phenomenal. The students that we have done this for have raved about it. They've talked about how powerful it is, how effective it is, how useful it's been for them. And so we didn't want to wait any longer because we're getting close to the exam date. And so today, what I'm doing is announcing a new program called the AI Accelerator for the bar exam. So let me talk about the specifics of what this program includes. What you're going to be allowed to do is to buy tokens, and each token will allow you to submit one set of materials. It could be essays in a subject, it could be a couple of performance tests, it could be your results in MBE subjects like con law or contracts or whatever it might be. You'll submit that material to us. Then we will run it through different AI programs. I'm going to demonstrate those for you here in a moment. The first of these programs that we are using in the accelerator is something called Notebook LM. Now, you may have heard about Notebook LM. It's quite extraordinary. Hopefully you can all see this is Notebook LM. And what this does is allow us to add up to 300 sources. And we've taken our bar review outlines, the lectures of our, or the transcripts of our lectures that are relevant, any other material, model answers, sample answers, and so on. And we've put all of those together as a particular group of materials. Then we run the student's report through that. This particular one was in contracts and sales. And we've created these different reviews for the student. So here is one review that talks about the topics that this particular student needed to work on in these questions. And you can see that it goes into each question, talks about it and how it works and what they did well and what was not working for them. It also included a review of what we call a briefing document, which is the key themes and ideas that you could look at, sort of like a nutshell. And again, you could take this and print it and work with it. And then there's also a comprehensive guide. This includes a quiz of 10 questions. It includes some essays. It's got a glossary of key terms. And all of this is based on the input from the student, how they did on a particular set of questions. All right, I hope that makes sense to everybody. Now it gets really cool because one of the things we did is create podcast kind of conversation. We want to take the basic conversation because you'll see there's something here called the interactive mode. So what I want to do is start this and show you how the interactive mode works.
Florida after accepting an employment contract and then tried to work it after all.
But Maisie's had already hired someone else in the meantime.
And under the concept of anticipatory repudiation, Maisie.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell me more about anticipatory repudiation?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah, it's a key concept. So let's dive in.
So anticipatory repudiation is when one party to a contract clearly indicates that they will not fulfill their obligations before the time for performance arrives.
Right. It's like they're saying, I'm not going to do it before they're supposed to.
In most jurisdictions, this is treated as an immediate breach.
Yeah, even though the actual performance isn't due yet.
Can you tell me a little bit more about selective intuition and how you would use that on these kinds of questions?
That's a fantastic question, and it's actually really relevant to the way you should approach the MBE.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, and it can totally change your test-taking experience.
So selective intuition, as Jackson describes it, is about using your non-conscious brain to help you answer questions.
It's tapping into all the stuff you've learned without actually memorizing it.
Exactly. It's like your brain is a well of knowledge.
I think the ability to ask the specific questions that you want is valuable. So what happens is you're able to submit, and then we put it through Notebook LM. It has the ability for you to customize it to whatever you want it to be and to be able to ask those questions. Now, what makes this different, the reason that you couldn't do this on your own, is that we have included our source material. So it's our outlines, lecture transcripts, sample and model answers, and so on. So all of that is there for you. And it's really quite remarkable. So that's the first piece. The second part of the accelerator is taking those reviews. We are then able to generate videos using AI. I'm going to just play a little bit of this.
Green car needs 10 identical green cars repaired for this Earth Day event. Repair company is the only shop in town that can handle these very specialized vehicles.
Right.
They agree to have all 10 cars ready by April 21st for $1,000 each. So a total of $10,000.
The model answer actually agrees with your conclusion, Stacy. It emphasizes that the intent of the parties was for Green Car to have all 10 cars for that Earth Day event. So that made it a single, indivisible performance.
Even though there's a price per car, the overall purpose points to an indivisible contract. Even when the facts scream breach and failure to mitigate, you still have to anchor it to that legal standard.
Right.
Fixing 6 out of 10 cars just doesn't cut it. Despite Repair Code trying to claim that they substantially performed.
Freedom of contract means that the court will attempt to enforce the language if possible, and particularly when there is equal bargaining power between the parties. It can provide a remedy when those traditional contract elements might be missing.
So what I wanted to do, what I want to show you, that's an AI generated video. So what happens is that when you submit an essay to us, we run it through AI sources, and then we create avatars that are reviewing your work. And you see the way that it looks. It's just visually more interesting. You can hear them talking about your work. And these recordings go anywhere from 10 to about 20 or 25 minutes in length. And we send those to you to be able to review your work. This is pretty remarkable, really, because what it allows us to do is to take the AI and convert it into a video that's personalized and built for you, talking about your work. So, for example, we've done students who've submitted a draft of an essay and then redone the essay a second time. It reviews their work and the improvements that they made. It also reviews the performance test or the essay grade, and it's curated by me and our staff so that we know it's accurate. And then we send that to you. I'm pretty knocked out with these videos. The students that we've sent them to have loved them. They are really useful. They're interesting to watch. You can go back and replay it. You can run it again. And again, it's the AI taking all of this material and synthesize it to create something that we couldn't create on our own. Now, this doesn't necessarily replace one-on-one coaching with Tracy or me or someone on the staff, but it is a fabulous and cost-effective way to get a review of your work. I'm very excited about this. And with each token that you purchase for the AI Accelerator, you can submit one group of essays in a subject. So you can't send me 10 essays and one token, but you can send me a couple of essays in contracts or a couple in Tor. I think you're going to love them when you see them. Students that we've done them for over the past few months have just come to really like them and enjoy them. So at this point, I'd like to just ask what your feedback is. You've seen so far two of the elements. You've got the notebook, which gives you the written synthesis and the ability to ask questions. And then you have the video synthesis of the work. Recent, and David, I know you've done a lot of this kind of work. The avatars are incredible. The ability to take this material and be able to see it and watch it and have it personalized to you is something that has been very powerful for people. It has been a very efficient way for our students to study that we've been sharing it with. So that's two of the three elements. The third element is mind mapping. For a number of years, I've talked about mind mapping and used a program called MindMeister. But we've, over the past few months, come up with a new AI enhanced product that's called FunBlocks. And I want to share that with you now as well. FunBlocks is an AI enhanced product that allows you to have far more information and to be able to work on this information in the way that you want for a particular subject. So what we've done is we have created a number of different mind maps, but let's take, for example, evidence law. We can create this mind map, and the beauty of it is that we can expand it as you wish. So let's say that you are working in evidence and you want to understand more about the question of relevance. So you go down here, you see relevance, and you click on this, and you can see that there's a whole lot of ways you can work through this, but we're just going to take a breakdown of it. And it will now write information that will help us understand this even better. We can continue to work through it. And it's done in this very logical, orderly way. What we like about it is that it's so easy to use. There's really very little learning curve. You just click on the button, hit this, and it gives it to you. And here's a summary of this flowchart. There's even a very interesting part in which you can create a presentation. So here is the presentation, navigating evidence on the MBE, and you can make this and follow it through and create it as a document. So you see there's all sorts of different ways to make that work. In addition, you can create notes from this. You can ask questions about different parts. You can create a to-do list around the subject. You can make rational decisions around, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. And it's pretty remarkable. When you have signed up for the AI Accelerator in a subject, we will share this with you, and you can open up a free account. So there's no cost to you for FunBlocks, and then open up this document and work on the document. The community can share in the document. You can print it out and create an image, do all sorts of different things with it. That is FunBlocks, and it's the third piece. And I'm really excited about that as well. So now, let me bring all this together. When you buy a token for the AI Accelerator, you'll be able to submit your work for the Notebook LM, the video, and the mind map, and all of that's included. Bill, your question is the information coming from our materials? It's primarily from our materials. Occasionally, we will go to outside sources, but the difference is that by using our materials, we know they're curated. We know that they're accurate for the bar exam. Remember that there are things that are too broad and not useful. And the most important part is that we curate them ourselves. We make sure that the information will be accurate so that there's no hallucination. And I think that's the value. So if you go out and do this on your own, maybe, but I think then you'd be looking at different materials and you wouldn't know if they're valid or valuable. And so that's the reason. So great question. Thank you. Token will cost $100. We are offering a package of 6 tokens for $500 to introduce you to this concept. But if you wanted to just do it for a single token, you could do that. And in a moment, I'm going to give you the link to be able to order, and you can do the package of $500 for 6 tokens or a single token. And we're also offering you the opportunity to pay for that over 5 months at $125 a month, or you can use Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay. There is the order page. It's very simple. You can buy the whole package, 6 tokens for $500. You can make monthly payments of $125 to get the 6 tokens, or you can buy a single token for $100. And all you need to do is submit your work to us, and we will create those 3 products for you. So that is what we are offering. As I have worked with students to show them this and working through this set of materials, the response has been extraordinary. It is something that I don't think is available anywhere else in bar review. We wanted to get it out to you because I think that in these next 30 days, you can make enormous use of these. You can order those today and start using them. It's going to take us a bit of time to create these for people. So there may be a capacity issue. And that's why we want you to be able to jump on this and get started right away. If you have additional questions, please reach out to me, send me a text, send me an email. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Those of you that order and get started, you could submit work tonight, and we will get started with that and give you access to all those materials right away. Look forward to having you use these, and I think it'll be a great service. Thanks, everybody. Been great seeing you.